Yo, what up, Underground? It's your boy, the King, Mr. 43, Mr. 43, stroking it, you know what it do. That was a good intro, huh? So, I just finished watching the most recent James Bond movie entitled Skyfall. Somehow I missed it in theaters. Uh, you know, can't catch all the blockbusters these days. Probably should have saw that before I saw The Hobbit. Actually, I think The Hobbit came out in November. Skyfall came out early December, maybe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I thought of something that I haven't really thought of before when watching Bond. So before we watched that, um, my mom and I and my dad kind of watched the documentary called Everything or Nothing that's on Netflix that tells the untold story behind James Bond. And I thought it was pretty cool. I always like documentaries behind movies and stuff like that that shows you some of the stuff that 99% of the public wouldn't know. And it made me realize how they've been making Bond movies, for 50 years, I think it is. That's what it said at the beginning of the credits of Skyfall. So they're making Bond movies for 50 years, and they changed actors what 7 times, 6 times, somewhere around there. But as far as like the story goes, it's completely unique compared to like superhero movies or other franchises because you know just the character development is completely different because what the stuff that Sean Connery's character learned from the beginning, is that stuff apply to Daniel Craig? I'm not sure. Does his relationship with M or anybody, is that the same throughout? Now, you might be thinking, oh, that would be retarded. Once they change actors, it's different. How can you be sure? Because it's the same story and characters every single time underneath the same production team. Now, that's not true with Never Say Never Again and the very first Casino Royales that were a botch, but that's a whole different subject. So, my point is, superhero movies and other franchises like Lord of the Rings, they all have a beginning. You know, Peter Parker gets bit. Frodo accepts the journey to destroy the ring. Harry Potter gets the lightning strike on his forehead. Now, in the future, if some of these franchises get reboot, they're going to have to go through that process again. But in James Bond, you just start from bam, he's a secret agent, and he does his thing, and he kills a bad guy, or an arch nemesis. There is no beginning. It's like a dream. You just start somewhere in the middle, and it never really ends. James Bond should be, or could be, 50 years older than he is right now. He's always like a 32-year-old secret British agent working for MI6, or I think it's called that, right? Yeah. He's always 007. How much does this character change? So I just thought that was a fairly interesting thing because I've been studying a lot of film at ASU. When Spider-Man got rebooted last summer, he had to get bit again. So that completely changes everything he has to develop again. But with these new actors, it always starts from the middle. So I don't know. I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts. All 14 people that are going to comment. As far as the movie goes, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I would have liked to watch it with subtitles. That would have been nice. Daniel Craig is definitely a good Bond. My mom made a good point where, as far as all the actors go for like fighting and like just being agile and athletic, he is definitely the most believable. But he's not my favorite Bond. Definitely Pierce Brosnan in Goldeneye. I mean, there's too many childhood memories associated with that. I mean, you have just the classic music and all of the stuff with the video game and just first-person shooters in general. Goldeneye is definitely the GOAT in my eyes, and I love how quiet that movie is. Like, there's plenty of scenes where there's just no music at all, and it's just 007 doing his thing. The sound effects are really loud. Although I said it was quiet, so it's an interesting contradiction. Even though it really isn't. I'm just blobbering at this point. So, I'm glad this video didn't turn out to be 20 minutes long. Let's see, was there another point I wanted to make? No, there wasn't. And of course, Adele won the Oscar for Best Song. I think I caught like 2 words from the lyrics, and one of them was Skyfall. So, that was pretty disappointing. But yeah, do what y'all do. And peace. Actually, how about, let me just, okay, wow. I always have these moments. If you guys ever wonder why I didn't upload a video in a day or in 5 days, just think of this, okay? Last Thursday, I went to bed at 3 a.m. procrastinating the whole Wednesday night, procrastinating a paper that I should have had done from a long time ago. My first class is at 10:30, okay? I wake up at 7. I do the paper, get it done by like 8:30. I leave at 9:30. Go back to sleep for maybe 20 minutes. It was worth it though. Get ready, go to school, or drive to school. I have to go on the highway. There's an accident on the I-10, I think it's called, but I don't have to go on that, but it still affected me pretty damn hard. And then there was an accident like on the campus, so every small road was backed up. I ended up getting to the campus at 10:30. My class starts at 10:30. Completely skipped my first class. Okay? I tried to do some Wikipedia research on a movie that I should have seen called The Piano that I'll have to see by this Thursday probably, and I'll probably procrastinate. And then, let's see, where am I going with this? 10:30. And then I have a class at noon. History from 1865 until now. So I went to that. And then that class ends at 1:15. Go to my 1:30 class, which is dramatic analysis, which is what I had to watch the piano for. Take a midterm from that. Absolutely get my shit pushed in. But luckily, the extra credit was unbelievably easy. That was a free 10 points. So hopefully I can get like a B- on that. Then I had to go present in a group for my mysteries and puzzles class. And it was kind of messed up because the link that I used in the PowerPoint, like it was a group presentation. I had one slide where I elaborated on some stuff from a movie called Waking Life. The link I was using was for a song called Curly and Voyager. You may have heard of it, from The Cure. And the beginning, the quote that I used in the montage that Cobra suggested was actually from that movie. So I thought that was really cool, and the link didn't work, so that sucked. And then we had to take a test in that class, and I got my ass kicked on that too. And then after that, I went to a class called Ethics and Survey, or Violence and Sex in Films, Ethics Survey, some shit like that. That's 3 hours because we watch a movie every single Thursday, and we end up watching A Clockwork Orange. So think about it. I'm on 4 hours of sleep. I took 2 midterms, and then I have to watch A Clockwork Orange? My brain does not know what to think at this point. Keep in mind, every Tuesday and Thursday, I've been slammed for like the past 2 weeks. I had to get a bunch of stuff together to submit to actually make it into the real film program instead of just filmmaking practices. Man, it's been a tough couple weeks, so I cannot wait until March 8th. That's when the chaos can end for a day or two. So then we watch Clockwork Orange. I walk like 1.5 miles to my car, pitch black, which is always fun because the buses stop running at 7 o'clock. We get out at 7:15, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the buses stop running. So I get to my car at like 7:31, I think. And I drive home. I tell my mom I'm going to be home in 25 minutes exactly. I get home at 7:56. And there's a PB&J laying there, which is pretty nice. And then I'm pretty sure I just sat on the dashboard talking to a few fools on the interwebs for like 3 hours straight. Just sit. That's usually what I do on Thursday nights. My brain is too fucked up to actually control a character in a video game, so I just sit there. And then me and Ryan watched The Frighteners, and that was one of the most confusing movies that was not meant to be confusing I think ever made. I don't know who did the advertising for that movie, but they probably had the most stressful like couple months of their lives, because one scene would be meant for like a 9-year-old and it would be slapstick like retarded comedy, and the next scene would be like solid horror that like is legitimately scary and has a grim reaper like sucking people's souls out. And it was a mind fuck. It was more of a mind fuck than A Clockwork Orange, unintentionally. So that's all one day on 4 hours of sleep. And, that can ruin a person's week, and then it stacks. So, if you wonder why videos aren't uploaded, that's just a little short synopsis of what it's like to be Mike Syfax.